2.
Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA-Analysis podcast. I am your host, Lance Fishel. Had a decent card last week. I would say I enjoyed myself. This card's vomit. It is awful, this card coming up. I looked at the card. It's very, very hard to find bets. Everyone always says this is a hard card to bet. I can't find any bets. I've never said that. I always find 5 or 6 bets. This was tough. Now I might find my way there with really bad bets, but this is a tough card. Anyway,
hey, somebody's got to win every fight, so there's always value. Lance. There's always
me and
value.
Brad will have double-digit bets on this card come Saturday night. Lance will be right below that. Watch.
I gotta get to at least 10 units, or I'm a quitter. I need to be invested to watch this shit.
I mean, you got to have the content if you hope to be picked up by Action or one of these sites one of these days. The units won and lost doesn't matter, bro. Just pump out that content, make your funny videos, and one of these places they're gonna pick you up.
It's true.
Yeah, you know, I really like Myra Bueno Silva, whoever that is, at plus 117. But I want it to get to like plus 130, so I might wait until it goes to minus 110 before I bet.
Then you got to play it though, right? Because you don't want to lose anymore, bro. You don't want to lose anymore.
Those are the best. Like, you got these guys who don't bet very big. Not that we're these giant gamblers, but you got guys who are betting $50 on a fight, maybe even less, $40 on a fight, something like that. They make their YouTube videos, and literally a line will be like, "I'm not going to bet this, but if it gets to 125, it's at 110. I think I'll have to bet it." Yeah, those $2.
You're talking about dollars. You're literally talking about single dollars, bro.
Like $2. Like I don't.
It's wild to me how, especially in the MMA space, because we know there's like no serious bettors in this space. How serious they take it, like that they're doing the. I mean, I'm not gonna go into algorithm, boy. We'll just stay away from that dumb shit. But like, man, some of these guys, like, I've DM'd with like Maddie and shit, and like these dudes are laughed at, man. Like even betting like $50 a fight and shit, like, and acting like they're professionals or something, man. It's funny. It's wild, dude. Like, you're betting fights, bro, and posting shit on Twitter. Chill out.
I love it where like the guys who like quit their jobs or whatever, and it's like they've made like $1,200 betting, and then they've made like $400 on like tips and shit. And I'm like, why did you quit your job? That was a very, very bad move. Like, why did you do that? Like, the top end, like people who produce MMA content in general, like the top end guys, the big name MMA like journalists, outside of maybe an Ariel, they don't make any money.
Nope.
Like, I don't know. I don't get it.
You can count on a hand how many people are like making legitimate money doing this, and it's very few, and it is grindy. Like you're talking about working every day, out producing shit. You're not making it in a space, bro. You're just, I mean, you look like a guy like James Lynch. Look at the work look at the grind that man has, and he is on the bottom end of making it. And the bottom end, like there's maybe Luke Thomas and Ariel, maybe. Our boy Bronister makes a decent living because he's with a site in Canada.
TSN,
but
he worked for a huge giant conglomerate.
Yeah, like the Score and shit. Like I mean, it's dudes don't. I mean, and you're talking about these guys have fucking degrees. They have journalist degrees. They went to school, actual school for this shit. They're not producing TikTok videos.
Did they go to school or did they go to Cappers University?
The gambling, people making their thing on gambling content is just
that shit's just going. I'm gonna continue to say, like, gambling going like straight legal and mainstream is horrible. It is horrible.
For me, is betting it. It makes
having places too, but I mean like the content side and the. Yeah. I mean, when you get UFC propping up guys, just absolute crooks like Gianni and shit.
Yeah.
It's just bad. You got guys like Jason McIntyre on Fox Sports and shit, pumping out just horrible bets over and over. And it's wild, man.
At least I'll say this for the Barstool crew. At least they do it to their own fucking people.
Yeah. I applaud them. Like, take those idiots, get them.
The thing is different about like Barstool versus some of the other ones. They openly talk about how terrible they are at betting, and they're like, "Don't tell me we suck." Like Big Heavy, like I've lost 17 bets in a row. Like I'm awful. And, like it's a joke, but
they still like crazy.
Take it seriously. That's the stuff I can't deal with.
Barstool still preys on some like really young dudes, a lot of college dudes and shit. It's pretty slimy. It really is.
It's what they sell to. But like I don't know. I enjoy some of their stuff. I don't enjoy some of their stuff. I don't know. The stuff I don't mind is someone like Dan, who's I think at Action Now, the guy from he used to work at MMA Junkie and stuff. He's like, I'm not a great gambler. I'm having fun. This is interesting for me. This has got me back into MMA, and I'm writing about it. I'm not a tout.
Oh, Dan Stump.
That to me is awesome. Like if they're doing it, it's when a guy like Ariel, he acts like he's a fucking expert gambler now, and he's like that's the stuff I cannot deal with. I like that maybe people who haven't been gamblers in the past and they're trying it out. They're not acting like touts. They're not acting like this big expert, and they're like, wow, this is a fun hobby, and it's got me back into watching sports more, watching MMA more, or the funny thing, the one sport that's like I've noticed over the last couple of years, it's gotten a lot more popular on like social media and Twitter is golf. Everyone's a fucking golf bettor now. Like I pull up my feed on Sunday, I see like 25 guys sweating golf bets and stuff. If I go back like 3 years ago, no, I knew like me and like 2 other people that were like betting golf.
Yeah,
and now it's big, and I think it's good for these sports leagues. More people are watching golf that wouldn't. More people are watching MMA that wouldn't. It's just
I thought you were going to say lacrosse.
Well, NASCAR got there too. Like I was like me and one other dude I followed 5 years ago bet NASCAR. Now it's literally what sucks is like it helped the market though. That for me it sucks badly. Golf. You can still hit it's too many players and too much variables involved in it. It killed the NASCAR market. It absolutely sucks.
Yeah.
But like you said about like Dan Stump though, like that is cool. And I like that Dan, like how he did it and came back and does it. I respect that. He's very transparent. He puts his record out there. He's good at it. He does very well.
Yeah.
He's learned it the right way and put in the time to learn. And also like he does what some other people do that can't put that time in. He follows people that he knows are kind of sharp and knows what they're looking at.
Some of the guys he mentions are terrible gamblers, though. We might want to talk to him about that.
Well, he just put one on that's like down like 50 units this year. But
is that the ugly guy? What's his name?
Yeah, the dude that does the funny video or funny videos and shit.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not a good gambler, really ugly fella. I kind of respect what he does. He has fun. I don't dislike that guy at all. I can deal with someone like that who jokes around and has fun with it versus the people that suck who take it super seriously. Like I don't follow that guy. I've never really interacted.
He's very self-deprecating too. Yeah. When he does lose, he says, "I suck." I can respect that. Yeah. I just don't like. I don't like when you're out there so much around everything and people act like you're good at something when you're losing very badly.
There's only so much you can say that you suck. Like we say we suck all the time, but I'm pretty sure we're all up at least double digits this year. When you're down 50 in a year, whew. And this is what you do.
I spend about 10 minutes a card, just really focusing on it.
Oh, dialed in. Yeah, absolutely.
To find my bet. I don't think I've ever had a down year at MMA, and I literally probably spend less than an hour a year researching cards and bets. It's just, I don't know. MMA is one of those sports to me.
We've said it before. I don't need 3 hours of tape study to break down Dope Bronx versus Makashev. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to watch Dope Bronx's last 15 fights to tell you how that fight's gonna go.
It's like, well, I just watched this. Apparently, Bronx has a good guard.
Yeah. Oh,
I just watched the tape.
Chandler and Poirier's fighting. I guess I got to do 10 hours of tape study. Like, give me a fucking break, man. You know what's going down, you know?
Yeah, and I understand a little bit watching. I don't like calling it tape study. That's just the grossest thing in MMA gambling for sure. Like no other sports ever said that. Like, oh, I got to tape study the Thursday night football game real quick. We're really gonna check on these packages.
You know who says they're doing tape study? The actual players and coaches on the team.
Coordinators. Yeah, the coordinators. And like,
maybe that's the problem with MMA. Like the coaches ain't doing some actual tape study.
I know they're
worst. Relying on touts to send them DMs and shit.
So bad. But like, I get it. If it's
James Krause is an expert better. He makes so much money.
I don't want to talk about that.
I saw that today. And fucking was laughing my ass. I'm retired now because I'm making so much money betting MMA. Give me a fucking break, bro.
It's really give me a break. It's really just a disgusting like market in general MMA gambling. Like I don't know why it brings out like there's gross touts in every sport. There's always been since I was when we were way younger. You always had the touts and it's like Brandon Lang back in the day.
Wayne Root and shit.
Yeah,
they've been around.
The 30 unit missile lock and all that stuff. But there's something about MMA that's even cringier because the big the guys like Johnny and these guys that are coming out, like, they don't even know anything about the sport. And it's not like it's the one sport that
regression, bro.
I feel like a lot of
you cash them, follow a fade. I hope you cash them, don't trash them.
That shit last night when he
lost everything.
Well, he started spouting MMA stat numbers, which is about as useless as any set of numbers in sports.
Tits on and done.
Then he fucks us on fatties. Then he shoots out the fatties stats numbers and you gotta do like fuck that guy. He knows absolutely nothing about fighting, and now he's using stats and shit. I hate that dude.
Well, the funny thing, and it's funny you brought that up that I'm about to bring up is I feel like MMA might be the only sport that you cannot be successful betting it if you don't watch. Like, if you think of any sport, you like NFL, basketball, anything, you can really dive into
You don't have to watch any of those.
You don't have to watch it. Like, you can literally just read all the numbers you can find, home and away splits, and you can look at, last 5 games or how they do in certain situations, like all this stuff. Even like
football, you have injury reports that totally change games.
And you can just look at like what is the team's record at home versus this, and how do they do in this situation and all that. And you can do that in all sports, and even like tennis, you can say like this guy's record versus this guy, or this guy's record, on this kind of surface and stuff like that. In golf, you look at the numbers. How does this guy play on? How do these guys play on this course? The same with NASCAR, right? How do they do on this track?
That was the main thing to look at NASCAR was stats. Period.
And that's golf. Like when you bet golf, like the reason I spend more time on golf betting and researching and stuff is you want to look at how they play at a course, or if it's a new course, how do they play on that style of course? What is their last 5? How do they play on this grass?
Same with cars. It's so similar. Golf and cars are so similar.
Yeah, and you don't have to watch it to do that. But MMA, there's nothing you can really you can't look at a SureDog page and say this guy's gonna win. Because it's about the style, it's about the guy and seeing the guy and stuff like that. Now, there's sometimes you can say like this guy always gets finished, this guy always finishes, or whatever.
That you can get methods that way.
Props and stuff like that.
But you really can't. You can't cap MMA through the numbers, and it's the only sport I would say that you probably that in boxing, right, where you can't cap it by numbers, and that's why it's funny when these guys come in like Johnny and trying to cap MMA. If you don't understand the sport, you're not going to bet it.
Yep.
It's the only sports. So combat sports. That's
all these guys trying to come up with their models and shit.
When on the flip side of that, like if you can't remember how a dude fights and you got to go watch 3 hours of tape on him to remember how that guy fights, you probably shouldn't be betting it or watching.
Well, I get watching highlights or a little bit of footage, I'll say, on guys you haven't seen before, newcomers, if you want to look at it.
Yeah.
But like, I find it funny. It's like, all right, I got to tape Brandon Moreno. You've seen him fight like 12 times. Oh, I noticed sometimes when he comes in, he holds his left a little bit low. Oh, boom, got it. Like,
Hey, I mean, Figgy Moreno 4, I got to get on my tape study. You know what I'm saying?
God, it's funny, and it's like you say it all the time. Like people are like, oh, this is gonna be a pleasure. I get to tape Luque. You've seen every Luque fight. Why do you need to watch them again? Like
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Trust me.
Although I don't blame anybody who wants to go back and just watch Luque fights.
Do it for
'cause they're fun as
enjoyment,
hell.
though. Yeah, just do it for enjoyment.
Drendy mentioned book it with Trent. I don't know if you guys seen that. He's the most obnoxious. He jokes around about losing and all that stuff, and he makes fun of himself. But he's like the most obnoxious human. I get mad when I see that guy pop up.
Yeah, I've seen him.
I don't follow any of those.
Him and the GOAT, the head of Capper U, going back and forth a little bit.
So bad. Anyway, let's go. We'll quickly review last week's card, and then we'll even more quickly review this week's card. So we'll start, I guess, with the welterweight division, kind of. Orion Kose defeated Mike. Who cares? This fight sucked.
Mike Methethhead.
This fight sucked. It's horrible. Anything to add?
Yeah, Izzy's boy can't wrestle at all.
Awful. Light heavyweight division. Nikolai Negrubova defeated Idor by knockout second round. I almost bet this one. I didn't. I almost booked it inside the distance. I didn't bet it, but yeah, look good.
Oh, little Nicky.
Little Nicky Negreanu.
Cashed in a little plus money. The Ukrainian dude got some fucking hype coming off Contender Series, beating up some bum. Like, I mean, he was throwing. I'll give him that. Nicky Negreanu's a tough out, man. That dude's skilled. Like he's gonna give you a tough fight.
He's not too bad. Next up, women's strawweight, catchweight, kind of. Jocelyn Evers defeated Yi John Kim. I didn't watch this fight. I'm to the point where I will literally turn the channel off because I just can't do it anymore.
I did hit a plus 350 on fight ends by split or majority decision. I had no idea who was going to win. I had no idea how the fight was going to go. I just figured it was in Texas and it was going to be close between two shitty fighters. It
was an atrocious split, though. Like, it was so
Doesn't
bad.
Matter.
But
Doesn't matter.
It was spot on, dude. It was spot on.
Who should have won? Was it a bad decision or it just shouldn't have been a split?
No, it should have never been a split. Like, Edwards won, like, 2-1, like, convincingly. And
gotcha.
There was some fucked up cards in Texas, man.
There was some
it was Texas.
Really weird ones. Yeah. The Dontel Mays one was the most hilarious one. That was impossible. Yeah. But welterweight division, Michael Morales defeated Adam Fuggett. Morales, he looks legit, man. He looks good.
Morales is very good.
He needs to step up. I'm not saying he's a top 10 fighter, but he needs someone I've heard of.
He needs somebody better than a 1 week short. I mean, this was kind of short notice and shit. Yeah. Morales, man, the size, the length, the striking.
He's got that alien build.
Man, no, he's ridiculous. Glad to get the TKO win on this. It was starting to look a little dicey, but once he opened up, man, I feel like he kind of played it safe. But once he opened up, my God, that dude's ridiculous.
He's good.
Nice to see a guy that can carry his power late into the fight like that too.
Yep, for sure. Next up, and also I will say, for the most part, up until the main card, this card sucked. This was like painful to watch up until we got to the main card. It was bad. Anyway, lightweight division, Dragar Klaus defeated Rafa Garcia. Who cares? Nothing. Klaus has nothing. He's
back to Haifa. We gave the Haifa Garcia up to like 2/3 on last week's show from his previous win, but I like Close here in a parlay. I mean, I thought his price was kind of crazy at like minus 200 or something like that. Close is just, we make fun of him. That shit happened. I think that whiplash and shit kind of fucked him up, man, a little bit. And plus,
PTSD, kind of like the dolly.
He does look like he's got a lot of miles on him already, though. He just looks it. He looks. I don't know what it is, but I don't like Close too much anymore. Good price here though. Minus 200 was a steal against Haifa Garcia.
Yeah,
he can't separate himself in fights at all.
He's incapable of finishing fights.
The takedowns he was giving up to guard, like that was so bad, man.
He doesn't do anything dominating, so he's always going to be in fights like this. So yeah. All right, heavyweight division. This one was a little bit more fun at times.
This
The
was
old
funny shit.
Handy versus Dontel Mays. That was I actually enjoyed like the prelims were so fucking bad that I was like, all right, this is fun. He looked decent. You know, he came out and won the third after looking gassed. He obviously fucking hits hard. The judge who scored it for Dontel Mays don't understand that. So I guess he gave him 2 and 3.
I can't remember. Right? Yeah, I can't remember what he ended up doing. It was like some judge that's based in Texas too that has
He got all of them wrong.
Yeah, every card that he had that night was wrong. Every single one of them.
Yeah, I think he had Kim, and then he had Mays, and there was one other one I thought that he had that was bad. I forget what it was, but he just fucked up everything. Guy sucks.
Yeah. Mays was the only fucking fight I got wrong on this card. Man, he's not good. We need to not forget that Dontel Mays absolutely sucks. Like he's beast, very man. Bad.
He's got good physique.
Handy though, man. Like it's a big boy that can wrestle. We'll see.
Yeah. I had my normal like full card parlays and all that stupid shit. And I had a 12-legger, and Mays was the only one I got wrong on it.
I had one
brutal.
too. My degenerate full card, all the picks, and he was the only one that I got wrong.
Brutal.
It buffered or something.
Fred,
anyway,
how we doing? Appreciate you.
What up, Fred?
All right. My biggest, I didn't have a great night. I was up a little bit, but mostly because of this. My biggest bet of the night was on this one. Lightweight division, Drew Dober defeated Javier Alves, knockout 3rd round. Great fight, super enjoyable fight. Dober, man, if you put Dober versus someone who's not going to wrestle you and stand and trade with you, he's going to find a way to get you out of there. This body work was fucking nasty. I was getting worried for sure in that 3rd round, but he was taking his time working the body, and it was just adding up, and then just Dunzo loved Drew Dober.
Yeah, I'd sex that man.
He's
that one, what was it, a left hook that he ate?
Dude,
it was
clipped
power.
Yep.
And Alves literally like bounced off of his chin. He hit him so hard. That was insane.
You can't hurt Dober. You can't really fit. It's granite in there and very sculpted. Just a good looking man.
We talked last week, and like I had mentioned that, you know, like you said, guys that are gonna stand and bang with Dober like that, it's always gonna be fucking amazing. He's gonna put you in an amazing fight, and 2, you're gonna have a problem winning that fight, man. Dober, it's hard to get that guy that like. It's gonna go though. Eventually, it's gonna go, and it's gonna go hard. Man, like Brad said, that one shot he took kills every dude, and that kills them. Like they're dead, they're asleep, and he didn't even fucking blink, dude. Dober's awesome. I think he moved up in like what, top 2 or 3 finishes in the division or something like that, or KOs and knockouts in the division. Right? Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've ever thought like of Dober as like some perennial title contender or anything. But I said it like he's Luque level for me. I'm tuning in every single time, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree.
And Alves is pretty fun to watch too.
Yeah, dude, props to him because he went out there and threw down. He said, "Fuck it."
Yep. He's awesome. Welterweight division, Alex Morano, Peter Matthews, Summelsberger. This is my last cut. Pissed about myself. I think you guys bet. Morano. I couldn't do it because he's fat.
That's consensus. Yeah.
I don't like fat people, so I couldn't have done it. If I would have been in the show last week, I would have bet him because you guys probably would have talked me into it before the show on consensus. So I blame you guys.
Hey, he looked good. He just pieced up a guy that just doesn't have the skills. Whatever Moreno looks like, the dude is skilled. He's got really good hands. He's durable, and that's the complete opposite of the Burger. Like that dude needed to land one big bomb, and he actually landed. He landed on Moreno.
He had him.
Yeah, he landed on him. But yeah, man, that fucking eye was just, my God. I'm actually surprised they didn't stop it at one point because That eye was pretty
Yeah.
fucking jacked.
It looked bad. All right, moving up, light heavyweight division. Magomed Ankalaev defeated Anthony Smith by broken ankle. Poor fella. First, someone breaks into his house and whoops his ass in front of his family, and then he gets beat up some more, and now he breaks his ankle. I mean, I don't know what's worse. I mean,
Glover
Frank
knocks out
wanted
his
to get a
teeth.
finish. You knew something.
Yeah,
was
dude's lost his teeth, half his fucking foot.
Did you say that Yankalaev got a finish? Holy shit.
It cost me my decision bet on him, but I was shocked. It takes a dude literally snapping his fucking foot for this guy to get a finish.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, people have been saying forever he's like the future champ at light heavyweight,
It sucks.
and
Not very good.
he's all right, but man, is he eye cancer to watch.
He is.
I mean, I'm taking Yuri or Glover tomorrow over there.
He's still got to get past the Bear Jew if he wants to get into title contention.
Man, I hate that you missed the show after the Bear Jew because I don't like what I saw. That
wasn't good. Was not good.
That there was some I mentioned on that week about the Bear Jew, like if you was on there, that butt scooting, even you would have been
Not good.
You would have been talking some shit about the Bear Jew.
I think it was like the end of the first round or early second, and I was like, punch him. You're winning.
He looked good on the feet.
Punch
He
him.
was winning.
I said that when we were breaking down. I was like, he can win just by throwing a lot of punches.
Punch him in the face. Like this butt scoot. Like, well, obviously the butt scooting wasn't working, the guard pulling, because he was not able to pull him into full guard ever. He was pulling him into half guard, and then that was obviously not going to happen. He just kept fucking doing it. It was obnoxious. We don't need to talk about that. Flyweight division, Alexander Pantoja beat Alex Perez, submission, neck crank, awesome. This to me is the most skilled and talented guy in the division. I think he has in a while. Maybe I'm different here. I have so little fucking interest in watching Figgy and Moreno throw down again. I know the fights were good. They were fun. I do not. Why Figgy's going to fight the same guy 4 times in a row? It's just fucking stupid. I hope Figgy doesn't come back, or he says I can't come back this year, whatever it is, because I want to see Moreno versus Pantoja. I think everyone wants to see that, so we'll see what happens.
Pantoja against everybody
for a title. He is. He's just too good. He's already beat Moreno. Like, I think that's the fight we need to see.
Yeah, me and Brad have been pretty big Pantoja fans since way back in.
Fred's from Brazil. Been a fan for years. Thanks, Fred. Do Bronx.
Pantoja, future champ, baby.
That's right.
I love Pantoja, man. I loved it. Like, he goes out there and scraps, man. There ain't no fucking around with Pantoja. It's every fight. And I think he, like Lance said, he's probably the most all-around skilled dude in that division at this point. Like, he can take your back like that. He can choke you out. He can throw hands. Like, that dude's got decent hands now.
Big time.
That was a really impressive performance, man. I know Perez did make a huge mistake giving up his bag and stuff, but not everybody can take a back like that and choke your ass out. Pantoja's one of them.
And he wasn't even under the chin. Or he wasn't.
No, that was vicious.
Yeah, that was just like, fuck you, I'm ripping your fucking jaw off. Yeah, I'd much rather see him against Figgy or Moreno at this point than seeing. And we'll talk about Moreno.
Move him.
You know, yeah, we'll talk about Moreno and you know his win was very impressive to me. But sign that up now. Like, let's not wait on Figgy. Get him another fight. Like, sign that shit up now. Like, that's a really big fight. I think that's a way bigger fight than Figgy and them again. Everybody's seen it. I mean, we've seen it so many times. Nobody wants to watch that shit 10 times.
Pantoja's fun. He's
awesome.
Fun. Really like him. Heavyweight division, Sergey Pavlovich sort of beat Derek Lewis. This has to go down to me as one of the worst stops I've seen this year. He stopped the fight as Derek Lewis was standing up, and like usually when a guy complains about a knockout after he stands up, he's kind of like wobbly, and then you're like, okay, good stoppage. Derek Lewis stood up and was like, sup. Like, he wasn't even a little bit hurt when he stood up. And you know, we don't know what happened. Maybe he would have just got knocked down again and the fight's over 10 seconds later. but also it's Derek fucking Lewis. Derek Lewis could have taken him down 10 seconds later and just fucking Donkey Kong punching him in the face till he died. So I want to see this thing again.
Or the giant gassed up Russian might have thrown 3 more punches and been completely done for the rest of the fight.
I wasn't even worried when
Lewis could do that too. Like Lewis could gas with one haymaker.
Yeah, but every time he gasses,
but he'll keep throwing.
Third round knockout.
Yeah. I was of course pretty big on Pavlich there.
Such a bad stoppage.
It was a bad stoppage. Like I can freely admit that. I bet the other side, and it was. Now, what probably happens there is Lewis gets hit coming up again, or something like catches another. Then the stoppage would have probably been more.
Or he takes him down and ends his life. We don't know.
The way the fight was playing out and the way Lewis, literally the crown of his head was on the mat. So I could see why they did stop it. I can.
You gotta let him eat a shot. You gotta let him eat the shots on the ground.
You gotta let him.
Heavyweight and Derek Lewis.
I think that's what happens. I think Pavlich probably holds his head down and connects a couple more times. Then you can stop it.
I wouldn't have been mad because also Derek Lewis could have stood up, bear hugged him, taken him down, and then taken 6 years off his life. We don't know.
He could. More likely, he was gonna eat 2 more punches. It was going to be stopped anyway. But you got to let him eat another punch or 2. That was a bad stoppage.
That was bad.
So yeah, the thing that made it bad is like the ref obviously stopped it because he face planted. But by the time the ref actually stopped it, he was already standing up.
He was up. Yeah, he was already moving up. Yeah.
It's Derek Lewis. I understand you have to.
And it's Derek Lewis. Yeah.
I understand you can't put the person in certain situations, but you kind of have to. Like if Frankie Edgar, right? If you're like back in the day, if you're refereeing a Frankie Edgar fight, you know you got to let this man get hurt. You know you got to let him go down. And Derek Lewis, he's been hurt worse than that in won fights several times. You know, and like you have to let this stuff play. And I know we got to protect the fighters and all that, but it wasn't like he ate any of the. And if you watch the replay, like some of the shots were not landing as he was going down. Like it wasn't like these massive, massive big shots, and he wasn't dying. It was more. I just don't see that as even a somewhat okay stoppage. I don't know what he was watching there, but it kind of sucks because that could have been if it does go on, that would have been the most hilarious fight ever if he doesn't get the finish in that next 30 seconds. But maybe they'll run it back. Flyweight division, Brandon Moreno, Cachoeira fronts. Moreno was looking a bit shaky. I thought on this one, I didn't think he looked. People were talking about how good he looked. I thought he kind of looked like shit. Whatever weird style shit that stupid motherfucker Krause was doing him, he looks like an idiot. I think he loses to Figgy or Pantoja. I think he loses his next fight regardless of who it is.
I thought he looked okay until the last round. Then he was starting to get. France had got his timing down a little bit and started catching him. I just think France he got so fucking overhyped. Just completely overhyped.
Well, who overhyped him?
There's all kinds of people that was liking France in that fight, man. I've seen a lot of dog picks on him. Yeah, dude, like he's got the power. Steve's got the power. That's what everybody was saying. He's got the power. He can knock Moreno out. Like,
but I think most of those people were joking around. Like I know Magic was the Steve, all that stuff he kept saying. He bet on Moreno.
No, there was some France bets that I saw in my timeline, but I just think the guy's been overhyped. I thought he was overhyped coming into this one. I've never thought like much of Moreno. I've bet Figgy against him every single time, and I don't know if he definitely loses his next fight. If it's against Figgy or Pantoja, he's losing his next fight.
It's one of the two, you know.
Hopefully, like we don't know. Like the UFC are fucking idiots at this point.
Well, there's no one else. It's an interim belt, number 1 contender, current champ.
Hey,
something's happening.
Can we please stop handing out trinkets for number 1 contender fights?
This
shit is because it's so dumb.
The fight wasn't that long ago. Like how long was Figgy out for?
Well, I mean, they did it with fucking Francis. They've done it with this one. Yeah, they just fought.
Yeah. 7 months ago or whatever. Like, yeah, that's stupid. And like the problem with this interim shit is like the UFC kind of fucked up because they basically forced it to be Moreno Figgy next. Like they forced that to happen as a 4th fight, which no one wants to see. Where if they wouldn't have made this for an interim fight or whatever, then we could have had a month from now or 2 months from now, we could have done Figgy Pantoja. There's different stuff we can do because 4 fights. No.
I think what they do with these now, with these number one contenders and giving them a belt, is that shit locks you in to a contract. Like it locks you into the UFC because you have an interim type. You're still considered a champ, so you're locked into like a 4-fight deal. Like they get some kind of.
Don't put them in a number one contenders bout if you aren't planning on like actually keeping them around.
You're talking about like bullshit. Just exploitation of fighters. It's nuts.
And then lastly, women's bantamweight, Nunes, Pena. I thought Pena was going to have a shot in this one. I kind of figured it was going to be knocked out quick, absolutely dominated, or one kind of actually the last time. It was just absolute domination. I still thought Nunes looked a little different. I guess, like, if you think of all Nunes fights, when she drops someone, she goes in and murders them, and then the fight's over. And she said after the fight, I wanted to play with my whatever. Liar. You were scared that you were going to gas out. That's why you didn't follow it. So
absolutely. Yeah.
I think she's absolutely beatable, but I don't give a fuck. This division sucks. The fact that I think the best fight to make next is Pena Nunes again is so fucking nuts.
Well, the fight to make would be Nunes Cyborg again, but we're not going to get that. This fight was fucking fun though. Like it was actually a chick fight that I thought was awesome. Nunes fucking, as far as like, I agree that I think she was worried about the cardio, so she didn't go in for the kill numerous times. But my God, that second round was just fucking great. She was just styling on Pena. Nobody's ever hit like that outside of Cyborg ever in women's MMA, and I can respect that. I respect power like that. I don't care who it is. I love Nunes coming in this fight. I mean, everything was pointed. Last time, her didn't give a fuck, moved camps. She didn't care no more. She took it serious, and we saw just how much better she is than Pena. That's all there is to take away from this fight. If they fought again, the same exact thing is going to happen. The same shit's going to happen if they fought again. But nobody wants to see it.
One thing
Pena did fight an absolutely brain-dead game plan.
Well, she's brain dead, but
she's an idiot.
But Pena's a horrible striker. Like, think how much she landed on Nunes in this fight.
No, dude, that one where she went windmilling in and Nunes just step back, bop, and fucking dropped her.
Oh, that happened, but the amount of times that worked on Nunes. Yeah. Look at Nunes after the fight. It was like she got in a car wreck. Like, Nunes is
it was a headbutt.
She's at the end. She's definitely at the end of the road.
Nunes is definitely on the backside of her career and old and getting there. But she's just better than Pena. She always has been, always will be. Like Pena cashed in on winning that fight, and good for her. Maybe she can, go talk about some Q shit and flat earth stuff and maybe fly with some aliens now, but she's not better.
She needs a rematch. Immediate rematch.
Yep.
God, that wasn't decisive enough.
Nobody wants to see that. She got her ass whooped, man. Nobody wants to see it.
She almost armbarred her.
I don't know if I can name someone else in that division.
Ronda Rousey? Is she still around?
Holly Holm?
No, they're good.
Holly Homeless?
They're gonna do Shevchenko again. That's what's gonna happen.
Can they just cut her? Good
God,
Lord. That last fight where Shevchenko lost and did nothing for 25 minutes, like she always fucking does, like, that's the worst.
Really, like, the only people anybody would give a shit about Nunes fighting next is Cyborg again or
Rousey, Gina Carano.
No, I think people would be hyped for her to fight the PFL fucking bum crusher. Like, I think that would be a hyped up fight, but it's never gonna happen.
Too. That's the sad thing, because she's like 195 pounds and knows how to wrestle. Anyway, let's move on to this just fucking banger of a card we have next week.
Low key banger.
Yep, only 4 women's fights, which is just fucking awesome. You got 4 women's fights. You got Jason Witt. You got Sam Alvey. You got Augusto Sakai. This card has everything. I mean, this is fucking fabulous. Let's just jump right in. Women's bantamweight division. Marta Buena Silva versus Stephanie Ager. I got nothing. I'll I'll tap out on this one.
Go ahead,
Brad,
Brad. You can run this shit off.
Nothing.
Apparently, MBS is training in the same camp as Dubron. So I'll pick her because of that, and because she's a dog. MBS, yeah, with the bone saw.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold up now.
Bone saw.
God damn.
All right.
That's all I got.
You got anything here?
You know, I don't give a fuck about this fight, but if I got a couple beers flowing, I was maybe looking at a little bit of an under here. Like these chicks like got some wild scrambles and finishes and shit in their past few fights. I think we could see.
Yeah, but that's against other people that can't grapple.
They can't grapple. They suck. They suck and get sucky with each other, and maybe we see a finish. This is probably a straight pass for me. I guess as a pick, I'll probably take Edgar or whoever's the dog. My bad. Whoever's the dog is getting picked. I'm hoping it was Edgar because I think she's beat a little bit better competition.
Who cares?
It was flipped.
Miranda Granger versus Corey McKenna. I don't hate people. Right.
McKenna's the one that has like the shortest arms in UFC history, right? So
good for her.
That's
really?
It's quite an accomplishment.
Nice.
Yeah. What was it? I was looking at it when I was trying to figure out who these people were. Yeah, her reach is 58.5 inches. Her reach isn't even 5 feet.
That's not very good.
So this chick she's fighting has a 15-inch reach advantage on her in women's MMA. 15 inches.
Wow.
I don't know if that's any good or if either of them. Well, they're both bad.
And she's a big
I'll
favorite. The girl with the
McKenna
is the big favorite. Look at you, Brad.
Yeah.
You know why though, don't you? Because she's out there beating up all of the fucking women's fighters that's performed in the sex industry.
Oh yeah,
she's fucking she's a discriminative against the sex industry workers of women's MMA. She beat up Kay Hansen. She beat up fucking our girl Vanessa. Like, I don't know.
Not cool.
I'm going Granger for that fucking.
Yep.
Don't
solidarity.
Like
solidarity with the sex workers.
She gets that thing beat up on the daily, man. Like, leave her alone.
Next fight, welterweight division, Jason Witt, Josh Quinlan. Wes.
It's like the goddamn roast beef station at the deli.
Have you seen those pics of like a sandwich? Dude, they have like a hand sandwich and get like the right pick. It's just like spot on.
Man, Jason Witt, worst chin ever, I think. I know that you were saying you were looking at Quinlan inside and that price was too much. Maybe the under 1.5 here. I know you're kind of relying on Quinlan to be the only one that gets the early stoppage because we know Witt's not going to. But man, Witt he gets bonked with pretty much anything.
Sean, you missed
Lance wanted
your openers here, dog.
Lance wanted to break down last week's card for like half an hour. He's probably going to keep us here for a couple hours tonight.
I just assumed you guys are going to be done by the time I got home.
Minutes left. I'm turning it off in 17 minutes.
We were breaking down the last fight of about the two chick fights, and we get into some conversation about roast beef sandwiches and how they could
hard-hitting breakdowns.
Yeah,
as per usual.
Who'd you pick on this one, Brad?
Quinlan. I think he's getting a stoppage at some point.
Yeah. Wes?
Yeah, I think Quinlan is decent, and I think he's going to knock out this dude, and I'm probably going to parlay Quinlan. I like him in this spot.
You, Sean?
I'm pissing away money on Witt. I put a unit on him at plus 190. He's probably going to get knocked out quickly because his chin is horrible. If he doesn't, maybe he can grind this guy. I'm still skeptical of some of these Dana White Contender Series guys.
It's been a good fade. It's been a very good fade.
I like Quinlan. Not sure how I'm gonna play it yet. The TKO line's like -110, which is a bit tempting, but I could also see him knocking him down and jumping and grabbing a sub. So kind of worried about that. The inside the distance, if it was like -130, maybe I can't play I'm not playing a straight on inside the distance at -155, but it hasn't been opened everywhere yet, so it could open a little bit lower. So if it does, I'll probably
FanDuel.
Wait
for FanDuel.
Yeah, I get a lot of good props on FanDuel. All right, what division? Terrence McKinney, Eric Gonzalez, new shot.
I think for something like this, you gotta basically go the prop route. McKinney round one is like -200.
Yeah.
Like, so at that point, you just take him round two and just hope that he survives. McKinney by TKO open at +160. I don't think that was terrible, but that's kind of got bet down. So it's kind of unplayable. You're kind of just throwing darts and hopefully something lands at this point. But obviously the pick's going to be McKinney.
So McKinney's 16 fights, only 2 have left the first round, and his last 7 fights have ended in the first round.
Yep.
Wild.
Not bad.
And the other guy got knocked out by limp hand fucking
Nice
Jim
to
Miller
meet
last
you.
time.
I'm Jim Miller.
Hey, Jim Miller's got 3 straight finishes, motherfuckers. I'd watch out.
I would have fucked him up.
3 straight finishes.
Wes, who you got there?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta like McKinney here, and there's really not much you can do. I think Gonzalez is pretty tough though. Like he wasn't looking horrible against Jimmy Miller until he got caught. That's a bad look to get knocked out like that by Jimmy Miller. But before then, he's been a pretty durable guy that's gone some time in some fights. I just think everything on McKinney is so far gone. I was kind of looking at fight starts round 2. It's not released at a lot of places yet. I'm still thinking that's going to be some decent plus money because the over 1.5 is like +200, which is kind of crazy. I get it. It's McKinney though. I haven't bet anything on this, but if I do, I'm probably going to look at fight starts round 2 at some okay plus money and just hope that Gonzalez can survive the first round with McKinney. I think if he can't survive the first round, that over's probably going to get there. So McKinney's the pick, and we'll look at fight starts round 2.
Brad?
Yeah, I got nothing here. This line isn't playable. The props aren't really playable. Even if you get down to like the specific round 1 TKO or round 1 sub props, those are only like +175. So, I mean, there's nothing here for me. I expect McKinney gets it done. But I think I'm going to be fading this guy at some point soon. I don't know if this is the spot, but like he's got quite a few losses on his record. He's been stopped a bunch of times in his career. Like he's not who people think he is. He's fun as hell to watch. But part of him being fun as hell is the fact that he can get stopped as well.
He's awesome. You can play Gonzalez. Yeah. Gonzalez inside the distance is 11-1.
Yeah, maybe.
Or you can just piss on money.
I'm probably not.
I mean, you just bet Jason Witt, so
that's fair. Yeah. That is fair.
Very, very good point by Brad. I'm gonna pick McKinney. I'm probably not gonna bet this fight if it was somewhat bettable because you can look at the round 1 knockout. The round 1 knockout is probably what -150. If they have,
I think it was like +125 or something like that.
That's playable. That might be playable.
It's 175.
Plus
yeah,
175?
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Why is it the same as the sub prop? That's weird to me.
Because he has a bunch of he's got a bunch of subs. It's just in the UFC.
He does both, yeah.
Yeah. Lately he's been just knocking guys out. I don't know. I'll pick McKinney. That's more than likely I'm just gonna watch as a fan. I really like the kid. So I'll probably just watch this one. All right, moving on. Welterweight division, Takashi Sato, Brian Battle. This card sucks. You, Sean?
Brian Battle's a legendary tough winner, sir. Show some respect.
This is true.
He is
the
not
worst
good.
ever.
He's
The worst
not
tough
good.
winner ever.
Until
Is
this
he worse
Saturday.
than James?
No.
Is he worse
no.
than James Wilkes?
Ooh, no. What
Remember
about
that
the guy?
dude?
Yes. Yes.
Colton Smith.
Worse.
That dude's a
No,
legend.
no, this guy already won a fight.
Yeah, but he only won because
Colton
the
Smith
other guy
won a
did
fight, didn't he?
nothing. Literally
Colton-
nothing.
Literally
Yeah,
stared at him.
He didn't even finish his 3-fight contract, I don't think.
Yeah, that was.
I'm looking this
That was
up.
pretty bad.
Colton Smith has 3.
Battle dropping down to 170 where he's never fought before. He's obviously not a muscular dude, so he probably is not going to have much problems there. It's just I don't think he's good. Sato is terrible as well. I guess I'll pick Battle, but fuck, like minus 250 on Brian Battle. I know Sato is terrible, but ugh,
Looking back, Colton Smith got kind of a raw deal.
I'm just looking at his record right now. Holy shit.
He lost 3 straight, and then he got cut. Robert Whitaker, Michael Chiesa, and Carlos Diego Ferreira.
never heard of him.
Brian Battle went life and
unbelievable.
death with Terry and Gore.
Wow.
Trayshawn Gore.
Dude, Whitaker,
Having a
Chiesa,
fuck.
like, if you were a top 5 guy and you fought those 3 in a row, be like, dude, that's a murderer's row right there. And this is
Yep.
and it wasn't like these guys were good back then. They were not like big names. He just fucking ran into a buzzsaw. And then he won his next 4 fights after he left.
GSP was so pissed that Colton Smith beat Rory's boyfriend in the tough finale that he was like, Dana, line this dude up.
Line him
Kill
up.
him.
Line him up.
Brad, did you see the full story? So he lost to Whitaker, Chiesa, and Ferreira. He gets cut. He wins 4 straight. And then his last fight, and he lost. Then
Was
he
Sean
retired.
Brady.
Sean Brady.
Colton Smith's like, he's probably like the 17th best welterweight in the world at this point.
That is
today.
That is absolutely unbelievable. Whitaker,
That's,
Chiesa, CDF, and Sean Brady are his 4 losses.
Yep.
Tough
Poor
go.
bastard.
Tough go.
And he probably thought he sucked and he retired. Unbelievable. All right, Wes, who you got here?
Yeah, look, I think Sato's great by any means, man. But look, I am telling you, Brian Battle is fucking
Beast.
horrible. He is so bad, man. I gotta take plus 230. I have to. I gotta do it. That's just a number I cannot pass up against this guy. Most people don't even watch that shit anymore. But if you watched his tough season, man, this guy was life and death with some absolute bums on there. He got the win over Gore, who I thought was decent. Turns out probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime Gore threw a punch on that dude, he was staggering up against the cage like he was hurt bad.
Gore punches hard when he punches.
Battle's chin's shaky. It just is. He does his takedown defense is okay, but his chin's shaky. I think Sato is gonna throw more. Battle doesn't throw punches either. He was sitting there staring at Gore as much as Gore was staring at him. He does that.
Yeah.
He did that in his fights on Tough. I think Sato can win this fight by pure fucking output. At plus 230, I'm absolutely taking a little of that.
Sato TKO 400.
I don't know how you can say Battle's the worst tough guy of all time when he's about to move to 3-0 in the UFC, though. I think
He's the worst. Skill wise, he is the worst dude to win Tough that I've ever seen. I've watched every single show.
Wes
of every
hates him
season.
so much because he was pumped to fade him with Gore, and Gore absolutely fucking let him down. So he's just got a.
It's a little of that. It's a little of that. But I'm telling you, like I put Battle up there with one of the worst dudes to ever win that show. Ever. He is bad. He's not skilled.
Jonathan Brookins.
Ooh.
Brookins had a ground game.
Nah.
Brookins had a ground game. He could
Brookins
sub
fought
you.
Aldo at one
Yeah,
point.
he's that guy's decent. Yeah.
That was before Tough. That doesn't count.
Yeah, he had a sub in a ground game though. Like that guy had a discernible skill. Brian Battle has no, like he hadn't even barely trained. Like when he came on Tough, dude, he'd only even been training like a few years in MMA. He just started this shit. Like he's some fat dude that went to a gym to get in shape and ended up starting MMA for like 3 or 4 years.
Got it. Eddie Truck Gordon.
Ooh. That's
Did he
PFL
win?
vet Eddie Throckmorton.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely some not great winners on this show, but like he's up there. He is right
Randall
there.
Grove.
Man.
You
Ryan
could throw
Hall.
out any
Ooh.
name after like tough 15, the live season,
And
and
haven't
I'd
argued,
be
haven't
like,
argued
nope,
enough.
I've never even heard of that person.
Have
Tough
you ever heard
Live
of
was like
Brad
tough
Katona?
11, wasn't it?
You ever heard of Brad Katona? Apparently, he won tough. I
Yeah,
don't know
he's
who he is.
Canada pound for pound number 17 right now.
Yeah, wasn't
There's
that
a
wasn't
lot
he?
of bad
Wasn't he the
stuff there.
SBG?
Oh,
Dude
yeah.
yeah. We
Yeah.
faded
Nico
him.
Yeah.
Montano.
Canadian and SBG. What a fucking combination
He's
that
from
is.
Nico Montano. I mean, champ.
Well,
There's
women,
some
the
really
women,
bad
the
stuff.
women stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
That's
Brad.
not even
Women-
in the conversation
There's been some really
because
bad.
that tops the fucking list right there.
Michael Trezano. He's
Nah, shit,
terrible.
he can
Yeah,
throw now.
he
He's
won
way
some
better in
fights.
battle. Shit.
He just beat Klein a couple
Yeah.
months ago, a year ago, whatever.
Trezano can,
I'm going
can-
James Wilkes. James Wilkes is worse.
Yeah.
Ephraim Escudero.
Yeah.
No. Ephraim's fucking
Wasn't
Wait,
James Wilk wasn't that the Australia versus Canada fucking tough? That doesn't
Jesse
really count.
Taylor.
Jesse
That was a
Taylor would.
comeback.
That
Jesse
dude,
Taylor, that
he-
dude's awesome. JT
he
Money,
He's
baby.
awesome.
he would
Yeah,
maul
You just
Brian Battle.
you just
He
have to
would
allow
maul
cocaine and steroids, and then he's awesome.
Like that,
Yeah, the
That-
way MMA should be.
that dude winning that show and running through it, and then literally like getting drunk, and
Kicking out the-
kicking out the fucking
Kicking out the
limo.
limo.
That's just peak. That's peak MMA right there.
Yo, it really was, dude.
What about Nico Montano or Montano or whatever?
We don't count.
If-
we don't
if-
count the
If
females.
we're adding women
Lance.
in there, like she is the top. Like there's no any argument there. Like worst winner
Well,
ever.
Nico
All right, I'm going Ryan
Monchampo.
Hall. You pick who you want. All right, who's breaking down next?
Me, I'm taking Sato because Brian Battle sucks. He can't throw punches. He can't really grapple. He basically relies on dudes either doing nothing or beating him up and getting tired. And I think that if Sato beats him up, he's probably just going to finish him. So don't really have to worry about that. If Sato does get tired, there's probably a good likelihood that he'll get subbed later in this fight because he's got pretty terrible sub defense. So I don't hate fight doesn't go in this one as well. But my bigger play here is going to be Sato straight up. I grabbed some plus 235. I don't think it's going to get much higher than that because if people are laying that on Brian Battle, like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Future champ. I think Battle wins here. I do think he gets a sub. I bet fight doesn't go plus 115. Not a lot of bets in this card, so this is kind of default Munich. Munich.
No, you can't even convincingly say that shit. This
This is close.
that
to
was
God,
a
right?
limp ass Munich, dog.
Yeah, this is close to God. So I do think we see a finish. I actually really like this bet at plus money. I think Sato's going to knock him out. Battle can get a sub. I think more than likely we're going to see a finish here. Both these guys finish their fights, and they're both can finish both these guys. As Wes said, Battles does not seem to have a chin. He seems to be kind of worried about getting hit. So I don't know. I like doesn't go here. Let's move on real quick. We can move through these next six fast. Sam Alvey, Michael Oleksiejczuk.
The
Sean, we'll
legend
start with you.
retires.
It's
Well,
finally
we need to do like
it.
we need to do a whole retrospective on Sam Alvey's career.
I want to go sit in the couch. I'm done. We got 2
Did
minutes.
you guys know that Sam Alvey hasn't won a fight in like forever?
Yes.
Have you
everyone
heard
knows
that?
Picks. Who's your pick, New Sean? No bet.
He's also been dropped 3 of his last 4 fights.
a good chin.
I think Michael Oleksiejczuk gets him out of there. Him by TKO is minus 110. It's probably that's the only way that I would play this. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Michael Oleksiejczuk dropping down to 185 and he still doesn't really have any abs. You gotta love that.
Wes?
I mean, Sam Alvey could fight at like 155, and he wouldn't have many abs either. Yeah, I mean, Alvey's fucking been around for fucking ages, man. That dude's fought so many times. Yeah, it's about time to go. I like Oleksiejczuk inside too. Probably KO more than likely. He doesn't get subs. Alvey usually doesn't get subs. So that's probably something I'm going to sprinkle on. There's not a lot on this card. So yeah, the Candyman KO.
Brad?
Yeah, didn't we watch Alvey die like forever ago in Nashville? Who was that? Brunson that did that to him?
I think me and Lance has seen Alvey die a couple times in a couple different cities at this point.
That's fair.
I saw him lose to, I'm looking at Talis latest and Brunson. Alvey's 0-2 in Nashville.
Yeah, I think we've seen him a couple times.
Yeah, he's fought twice in Nashville. Those are the only ones I would have seen him in. But yeah,
Either way, the more interesting thing than this fight would be if we made both of these guys cut weight until they had any discernible muscle on their body. I think that would be interesting to see.
The machinist.
We'd probably get real low.
What are we getting down to?
Yeah. But yeah, the Candyman's going to actually throw punches, and Alvey is going to throw like one punch every 3 minutes and lose. I kind of think the over is going to get there in this one.
I'll take Alvey to lose and then be on the main card next time. Women's flyweight
Main event.
Lipski versus Priscilla Cucci, something. Nushan. One word. Who you got?
Catch your beating. That's a dog pass trademark right there.
Yep.
I'll just pick the dog. Looks like it's catch your beating, so that's who I will pick.
Wes?
They're both terrible.
Yeah,
Yep.
I actually think it's dog or pass as a bet. Anything here, catch a beating as a dog, be my pick. I'm not betting the fight. If you are, you should just probably bet the dog.
Brad?
I might bet this fight and take catch a beating because, I mean, low level women's this is textbook shit, and she's facing someone who can't grapple. Holy shit! Like, let's do it.
Good spot, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have to.
I don't care. All right, heavyweight division. Augusta Sakai, Sergey Spivak. You, Sean.
I like Spivak here. I've never been a fan of Sakai. It's kind of cost me in a couple fights, but I think recently it's kind of been catching up to him. Spivak, he's done what he's had to. I mean, that loss to Aspinall isn't that bad in hindsight. I think he's just better. He's going to be faster. I think he's going to catch Sakai and put him out of there. So I got Spivak in like 3 parlays.
Wes?
Yeah, I like old Spivak here too, but I don't know if I like him that much. Yeah, I think Sakai is. We found out who he actually is in his past few fights. He's not that good, man.
Fat. He's so fat.
Yeah, he's tired. And I think Spivak has actually gotten better over his time in the UFC. I think we've seen the improvements on that guy. Like Sean said, that the Aspinall loss isn't horrible. I think we all agree that Aspinall is one of the top handful of heavyweights in the world at this point. And then Spivak beat the guys he should have. And yeah, I really like him in this spot too. I think he can wrestle if he wants. He could get Sakai down if he had to do that. I think it's probably up on the feet, and I like Spivak's length here. I like how he uses it. Dude's got some decent stand up. So I have him in a parlay, and yeah, like him at the price here.
Brad?
I haven't parlayed him or anything, but Spivak to me is the side here. Sakai can't wrestle at all. I mean, Overeem was just like running forward and getting this dude down, and that gassed him out. So I expect Spivak, who actually makes dudes work, to have sad belly Sakai absolutely dead by the second round. And it'll be sad because Sakai is going to get cut after this. He's going to get kicked out of the t-shirt in the pool division. I thought we had a dude on Contender Series ready to take his spot last night. That Dan guy looked like Cisco on a 10-year bender, just spending those thong song royalties like they were going out of style, but couldn't quite get there. So we'll have to find somebody else.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I like Spivak here. I think he gets a takedown, beats the shit out of him, probably gets a finish. Sakai is useless on his back, and he's really fat, and I like fat people. I think at minus 250, this fight is super playable to put in a parlay. I haven't decided who I'll put him with, but it'll be someone.
Let's go on a year bender. It's gotta be up there.
All right, women's flyweight, real quick. Brogan Walker.
Joe Brogan.
Versus Juliana Miller. New Sean.
I will pass to our resident tough expert.
I watched the tough fights this season.
What?
You sad bastard.
You
Just the fights. I skipped to them.
like-
It took me like an hour.
I usually watch like tough when it's happening, like every season. I didn't this one. Like it's the first one. I literally binged the entire thing in like 5 hours sitting in a truck at work.
Terrible. Oh, was it bad?
Oh, it
getting
was
paid.
God.
it was bad.
There's no one good on the show. No good fighters on the whole show.
There's really no talent, like no legitimate talent. Yeah, this fight, Brogan, she's going to be the bigger, stronger chick here. The only problem is she likes to get a hold of girls and like grapple them and take them down. And this Miller chick, she's got some decent skills on the mat, man. She's got a sub game, and I think this is going to end up on the mat. And Brogan's probably gonna take it there and end up getting her ass sub for doing it. On the feet, I think Miller's better on the feet. Just got to worry about Brogan being able to survive sub attempts and laying on top of her because she's definitely the bigger, stronger chick here. I like Miller. I like Miller by sub. I think that's a huge price, and that's worth a sprinkle on this fight.
Bradley.
I haven't watched any of this shit, but there's no way I'm picking somebody who had a grappling match with Tara La Rosa and didn't bring a knife to fucking stab her. So, Juliana Miller, nickname Killer. You don't even kill Tara La Rosa when you have a chance. You're out of here. Done. It's all about Joe Brogan, baby. Just getting it done.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I'm with West here. We talked for a minute before the show. Miller's got a pretty good guard, pretty good jiu-jitsu game, and Brogan has – I don't think she's ever punched anyone. I don't think she's ever went for a sub. She's just going to hang out in the guard, and Miller's sub is plus 500. I saw –
Armbar from guard or what?
Huh?
Yeah,
Armbar from guard?
She could do a few
armbar from
things.
guard is very possible.
Very
here.
possible.
Why didn't she do that to Tara La Rosa then? Come on.
Don't know.
What are we doing here?
She saw all the Proud Boys standing on the side. I was like, I better not hurt her too bad. They're gonna fucking kill me.
What are you talking? She was grappling with one of the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
She is too, though. She actually is a Proud Boy.
That's not surprising. They haven't released lines, a lot of props this week on all the sites for some reason, like the legal.
Because
US
it's a
sites.
shit card.
Probably, but yeah, Miller sub. I'm gonna put a bet on that. All right, fucking awful heavyweight Zach Pauga versus Mo Usman, who's just not good. But Pauga is gonna win. Yourself?
Not the shitty Usman.
Wes?
Yeah, so we talked a little last week at the end of last show that I thought I was gonna get like a really good spot here. And everybody sees how shitty this Usman is, just like I did. It wasn't hard to catch. I didn't think this line was going to be like this though, and I figured some Usman money would come in just by the name alone and the looks of the dude. Maybe on Friday after weigh-ins, I get lucky and this line kind of condenses a little bit. But he sucks, man. This dude is not good. The Pauga dude is naturally a 205er. He moved up to heavyweight to get on the show and shit. Should be fighting at 205. He's got a 205 frame, but man, he's like one of those Islanders, man. He's got that blood in him. Dude's got a fucking rock hard fucking chin, probably that extra thick fucking skull that they say those dudes run around with. And he's durable, man. He's really fucking durable. I don't think Usman's going to be able to get him out of there. And I like Pauga here. I think he's going to win this fight. Just, man, this is not a line that I really want to play, man. Who knows how good Usman has gotten from the show? Like, you just never know. He trains with legitimate guys. He's got, I mean, his brother and all those dudes to help him. That matters. And this Pauga dude is training. I think he's at a lower level gym.
Quickie Mart.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like
He's training at Elevation, so not like out in Colorado.
But
not a bad team.
I think it's like an offshoot though of Elevation. Like he's
not the real one.
He's not with the good.
He might have trained. I swear on the show they showed like a video of him training with like kindergartners in like a dojo.
Yeah, he was. But see, he was also like he just started taking MMA full time too. Dude was like a detective, a Colorado detective or some shit. So he's only been in the game full time a few years. So he can improve leaps and bounds as well. I like him in this spot. I just think Usman is really bad. I just was hoping the line was tighter, and I'm really hoping Friday into Saturday that people see Usman, see the name, and they start taking that dog shot on him, and the line gets a little better.
Brad, and that.
Well, shit, you might not have to wait until Friday or Saturday because I've watched MMA long enough to know that tough is like betting women's MMA or heavyweight MMA. You just close your eyes, you plug your nose, and you take the dog. In this case, you made all these great points about him having a thick skull and shit like that. So instead of taking Usman straight up, I'm going to take him by decision. Because his brother's paying for his steroids. He looks like he took Kamaru's bonus from knocking out Masvidal and went to the tattoo parlor and said yes. And he went to the steroid shop and said, "Give me everything you got."
So he's 2022 fucking Gilbert Ivel. Let's roll, baby.
Yeah. You're just gonna hold him up against the cage, grab the cage, grab his nuts, maybe poke him in the eye, whatever you gotta do. Fish hooks.
If you want to know how bad Tough is, Usman got on to Tough by losing to a 41-year-old in his last fight.
He's horrible,
made
man.
the finals of Tough.
He is horrible.
Nice.
Even his fights on the show, like he was in Tough with some shitty dudes, man.
He lost to a 41-year-old in the UFC. Is like, this is the guy. And then he made it to the finals. And Zach Pauga, 205.
His best win is against Marcus Perez, who's a middleweight.
I mean, look up that Perez dude off the Tough. Look at the body on this guy. And Usman went to a split with this dude. Like,
love it. That means he's got grit.
Yeah, not good. I'm not betting this fight. I think Pauga wins, but he's not good. I mean, this is a guy that he's fighting at heavyweight, no power whatsoever, does not hit very hard, can take a shot, but this is terrible. Let's good. Welterweight division: Vicente Luque, Jeff Neal.
He's back, baby.
Jeff Neal just hasn't been the same since he almost died. He kind of squeaked out a win against Pontoon Boat last time out. That was a bit of a clincher there. I think I bet him decently big in that one, and I was not impressed with that one. Luque, I think he just fell real flat in that first main event. I still think he's a very, very good, very skilled fighter. He, of course, has his flaws. Neal does have big power. Whether he can land that, I'm not sure. I think Luque is the much more skilled fighter. I think he can crack Neal. And, if somehow this hits the floor, Luque is going to have a huge advantage. But even on the feet, I think the varied strikes of Luque is just going to be too much for Neal, who showed some promise and just never really fulfilled it after being on the deathbed. So I got Luque in 3 different parlays.
Wes?
Yeah, shockingly, I love Luque in this spot. I think Sean hit it perfectly in his last fight. Just fell flat, man. It was a really big spot for him. He was on a crazy win streak. They was talking title shot and stuff with a win there, and besides that, Bilal was a tough fucking matchup for him. A really, really tough matchup. Luque's got decent enough takedown defense, but when he gets down on the mat, man, he doesn't. His get-ups aren't the best. He's usually trying to sub your
and
ass.
Bilal also doesn't take chances, so Luque couldn't really create scrambles and shit like that. So that's
Bilal, if he does get you down, he's got some of the best top control and shit in the division. He can lay on top of anybody and control him, and he did it to Luque.
If we're scoring that fight by damage, though, it's like 50-43 Luque.
Yeah. Look, Neal is not Bilal Muhammad. Like, Neal does not have top control like Bilal Muhammad. He doesn't have the takedowns like Bilal Muhammad. I think this is going to be a lot of kickboxing. I think if Neal does get in deep on a takedown, maybe a trip on the cage, we're going to see scrambling here by Luque. We're going to see more of what we saw against Chiesa on him on the mat than Bilal. So I just think Luque's got so many ways to win this fight. The technical striking, while I think Neal is a decent striker, he's more reliant on his power than Luque is. Luque's technique and will knock you out with clean shit. So I like Luque quite a bit here, man. I'm under 2-1, and it's starting to creep back down a little bit in some spots. I got Luque in a couple parlays. I might even look at Luque inside, man. I think he could catch something here, maybe even by sub. Sub's got to be a big number. I haven't checked it, but I can see
25 was the highest I saw.
I can see a Luque sub in this spot for sure. I wouldn't be shocked to see Neal get a takedown and get into a scramble and get sub. So besides that, I love Luque in this spot. I think it's a really good bounce back fight for him, and I think he shows up and performs.
Right.
Yeah, that last fight with Bilal was so weird to me because Luque would be winning the striking. He would get taken down for like a minute and a half every round, and then he would wait until there was like 30 seconds left in the round, and then he would get up easily. And Bilal has good top control, but he was still able to get up with that dude on top of him. I just don't know why he didn't have any urgency to do it before then. Because if he did, I think that he would have kind of battered Bilal on the feet because he was already doing a pretty good job of that beforehand. Yeah. So Neal isn't a dedicated wrestler like Bilal. He's going to have to exchange with Luque. I think he's going to get hurt. And then he might shoot a stupid takedown, and we'll see what we always see with Luque, where he wraps up a Darce or an Anaconda or some sort of one of his incredible front headlock series that he's got, and forces Neal to tap. So I'm going to go on that plus 525 or 500, depending on what lines I can get once it opens up at some books that'll allow me to parlay. And I do have Luque straight up in a parlay as well. So I like him quite a bit in this fight. Neal, I think, after whatever his spleen failed or whatever shit happened to him in the hospital, he's absolutely not the same dude.
I think it's staph, didn't he?
Yeah, it's like
he almost died from
it.
He had a bunch of stuff.
Infection or something.
His kidneys shut down or some shit too. He had like a bad
like
blood
18
infection.
different things.
Yeah.
Sounds like
You guys said
Lance
enough.
Official.
Yeah. I don't have too much to say. You guys took like 34 minutes to break that down, so I think I like Luque in this one. I think he's going to stay in the feet most of the time. I think he's a better striker. I can't see Neal just wrestling, and if it does get to the ground, Luque is very dangerous down there. So yeah, I like Luque here in a parlay. Next up, way heavy division: Thiago Santos, Jamahal Hill. Yushan?
I think this is just a young kills old at this point. Santos, not the same since those knee surgeries. I know he somehow landed on Ankalaev, but before that he just does not throw enough. Jamahal Hill is pretty good, and he's young. He's a fucking idiot. I mean, we saw that in the Paul Craig fight, but young fighters have to learn lessons. He learned the hard way. I just think he's going to be way too much for Santos, and he's gonna get him out of there. So I round robined all the chalk in Hill, Luque, and Spivak. So I got a unit on each of those.
Wes?
Yeah, I'll keep it quick. I like Jamahal Hill here. Young killer against old dude that's about done. Got Hill in a couple parlays. My biggest bet on the card is Hill and Luque parlay. And I like Hill by TKO as well. It's getting a little juicy now, but I think there's still like a minus 140 something out there. He's going to knock out Santos.
Brad?
I like Hill to win because he's actually going to throw strikes in this fight. I'm not so sure that I love the knockout here. I mean, I know Santos got finished early in his career, but the only time he's got finished since he moved up to light heavyweight was Glover. I mean, that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked if he'll just sort of land stuff on him. Santos has a way of slowing people down in fights because he does throw absolute hammers, and maybe that slows the pace down in this one. So I don't love the stoppage here, but I do like Hill to win based on volume, and there is obviously potential that he lands something on the 40-year-old guy with no knees. But I've got Hill parlayed with Luque. That was like plus 117. And I also took the over 1.5 at minus 130 here because I do think that Santos is going to drag it out a little bit.
Yeah,
25 minutes, long time though.
I like Hill here.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything you guys kind of said. Santos just completely lost. Doesn't have enough left. He's not aggressive enough. It seems like his power's gone. Just not really so much. I think Hill's really good. I think it was just a bad matchup, bad decision making versus the Bear Jew. Thinking he can play in a guy like that's guard with his jiu-jitsu skills is probably not the best. Looking back, if he would have just kept that thing in the feet,
I'm gonna eventually make back enough money on Hill that they cost me in that fight against Bear Jew. I'm eventually gonna get that back.
And I like Brad. I mean, Santos is still tough, but Hill hits really hard. The only thing that worries me about Hill here is we haven't seen him real deep into a fight, and I don't know how he's going to look if it gets to a fourth round, a fifth round. Like, I'm not sure. Santos is still very tough. He's kind of lost his power. He's lost his speed a little bit. He's not as aggressive, but he's still a tough guy. He's faced some really, really big hitters. They haven't put him away. So I don't know if Hill is that guy. I think he might be. Hill seems like he's got everything together. But I'm gonna do the same parlay as probably half the country. That's gonna be Hill and Luque here. So I do like that and things that hit. So not a great card. We'll find some bets though. I'll find my way to 5 like I always do.
Did we consensus that?
Are we gonna consensus some chalk?
I think we did. I thought we did.
Yeah, they're consensus bet of the week. Yay.
Guess what we have Tuesday though. Guess who we have showing up. Guess who we have showing up to the UFC scene on Tuesday.
I've been talking about Bo Nickal since even MMA since he was a sophomore in college. Really excited about this. This dude's gonna be, and they found him the biggest fucking loser you could find. They opened the line like minus 350, and 10 minutes later it was like minus 1400.
Like 90 seconds later, it was minus like 1200.
Fuck are they doing at Bet Online there?
One of the worst openers I've probably ever seen. Yeah, it's minus.
And they actually
14.
take decent money. It's not like like an old school dimes open where they would take 100,
there
200
was probably
bucks. They take to win $500 on those. Like
there was probably like 5 dudes that got like to win 500 down on that.
Yeah,
it immediately went up.
It won't happen because of this guy, but like part of me wants to test Dana White. Like, what if Bo Nickal wins like a 3-round decision? It's not very exciting. He can't not take him. He has to take Bo regardless. It could be the most.
That's not gonna happen though.
Did you see the video of this dude getting killed in 30 seconds in an amateur fight?
And Bo is
dead.
Bo, there might be a murder on team. There actually might be a murder.
Well, Bo's just been standing up with dudes and knocking them out.
Yep. I hope Mark Smith isn't reffing this one because
there's like 3 different refs that probably shouldn't be reffing this one.
Get Herb. Nope, don't let Herb out there.
Get Herzog in there. Let's get at least about the best one we can.
Yeah.
A man has a family.
Well, that'll do it for this week's show. We appreciate you guys listening. Out of the first 20 minutes, we just talked about absolutely nothing, which I found fun. But we'll see you guys maybe We'll see. We might see you next week. That card's even fucking worse. But everyone enjoy the fights. Good luck this weekend, and we'll probably see you next week.